Hello, hello.
Mikey, what's going on? 40 Mike.
Back in the game, doing my best to impersonate a bomber type uni
Yeah.
with my fashion look tonight. But it's the best way that I can look at a computer screen for more than a few minutes. I've been dealing with a situation that usually happens when you're between 60 and 85, and
Oh, wow.
the gel in your eye starts like melting away behind your eye, and like as it falls you get flashes in the corner of your eye, and then you get a whole lot of floaties and little black spots all over the place. And
Right.
so I have the fortunate luck of getting it when I am 41. So for the last 4 weeks I went to the ER over in West Roxbury, which the people in the waiting area, they were awesome. My daughter and my wife were there, and they were like, they put Bluey on TV for her, and they kept a 3-year-old and my wife entertained the whole time that I was getting ready to get seen, and they had to bring like an ophthalmologist down from New Hampshire to see me and see what was going on with my eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were
Well,
awesome there at West Roxbury, and then Jamaica Plain. I went in, and like as I'm sitting in the waiting room, I'm looking around and I'm like, I'm the youngest person in here by at least 40 years. Like,
oh, it's crazy,
you know,
right?
and it's like I was talking with my old man the other day about it, and like I was telling him, he's like, oh, that's nothing. He's like, I haven't been able to see out of my left eye my whole life. And I was like, why am I just finding out about this now? And apparently his left eye only sees like shadows and like flashes of lights. I guess he's got a weak eye.
Wow.
And I'm like, I guess only need one good eye.
Well, how's everything else going, man? Hey, is it double XP on COD yet this weekend? Do they start?
I do not know.
Well, I was thinking you were dressing up like a COD, one of the COD skins.
No, I just grabbed what I could for what was available and tossed it on.
There you go. So what else is going on? I got like 14 minutes because I got to get ready for 8 o'clock, but we're making it work. I'm in a I just finished part one of a four-part series with the Executive Office of Veteran Services on Black History Month. Very honored to do that. But what's Mikey got going on?
Um, so you're working with Andrea Gilbert on that?
Deputy Secretary, yes.
Yeah. So she is also another veteran who received a dog through Operation Delta Dog.
Oh, really?
So I've had the pleasure of working with her with Operation Delta Dog and also with the Executive Office of Veteran Services. Uh, she was able to meet with me and Craig Chapman virtually right when they first launched the offices to be able to take some input from us, what we could looking for in help from the office and things like that to like make an impact on the community.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Excellent.
I really think they've done a great job so far of getting out there and making an impact and going from being under health and human services to having our own link to the governor and everything. It definitely helps push things forward for the veteran community.
Well, I get asked all the time, like, well, it was under Health and Human Services. It was just fine. You know, what do you all need your own, arm for? I said, well, I think you just answered your own question. We when you're under another org, those priorities get mixed in with yours, and your voice is hard to get heard. And I think this really, to your point, man, they've come in there and made it theirs. Like everybody knows that uh, she's the number two veteran in the Commonwealth. But also, I don't know about you, Mikey. I mean, I get the sense from talking to other people and seeing them work that this is not like a make work busy job. Like this is a job where if you're a veteran, no matter what your status is, you're going to at least get heard, if not get help with what your issue is.
Absolutely, and like the team they've been putting together, and like the jobs they've been instituting haven't been just to like find jobs for your friends and family. It's been to what can impact the veteran community in Massachusetts most. What fields do we need to be hands on in,
Right, for sure, for sure.
and then
So
it's just definitely good to see how they run everything and I know last year they had done like a screening of the 6 888. I know that's on Netflix now, so if anybody hasn't seen that, definitely go check that out if you get the chance.
yeah, yeah, excellent, excellent. So what do you got going on? What do you think about some of the people who appointees like over the VA? They announced like an Air Force retired general who's over the VA. We got Pete Hegseth. What's your thoughts on these appointments?
So the gentleman that's running the VA now came out yesterday with his talk of how he's going to be veterans first, and then he's going to take care of the employees and the veterans that work at the VA as well. And the biggest thing is just making sure that veterans are being taken care of as far as the time that it takes to you put in an application and you get rated on it. Like it shouldn't be years for somebody to get help.
Right, right.
And then the hardest thing for me is like I see somebody like Pete Higgs have to become the defense secretary, and it's like you've just seen all these people for years. Of it's always been like a 4-star coming from chief of staff or somebody that's been in charge of CENTCOM or like in charge of the theater of Iraq or the theater of Afghanistan. Like somebody that just came from a high level you know op tempo, and it's just I don't know. It's just strange for me to see that somebody go from Fox and Friends to defense secretary.
I don't know how you feel about this, and I'm not trying to cause controversy. Maybe I am, but I had to look at it with took the emotion off and like what's the qualifications, what's the suitability for the job. And then there's one other thing that still bothers me, man, is that Fox News segment he did in 2019 where he goes on this rant about where a lot of veterans are getting you know too many VA benefits, um, even though they're hurt, they should have some personal integrity and step away from that kind of, you know, system. And, there's just too many in it. And it's always made me uneasy because you've seen it. I've seen it. We both have seen it where you have the World War II, Vietnam, Korean War, Desert Storm one, any veteran. And there's some out there who they might be suffering with like chronic pain because of an acute injury they had, 5, 10, 15 years ago. They've been suffering for years. And if they won't go to the VA, they won't even apply to get rejected because in their mind, they don't deserve it. And you finally get one to get some steady health care and you see their lives change. And I felt like that's just, it makes me worried. I don't know why, but it really worries me for some reason.
Absolutely. You got guys too that they feel like if they get a benefit, they're taking it away from somebody else. And that's the biggest misconception that people need to know that you apply for it and you receive the compensation. It's part of the contract that you had with the country. You serve and then they're gonna take care of you afterwards. And
Right.
it's just people shouldn't be afraid to to use that end of their contract.
For sure. For sure.
Because they definitely, there's too many people that the suicide rate is still high, and all these things are still going on with the veteran community, and it's just guys need to know that they're not especially like that was it the article in January or December, like on the Economist or whatever it was, that was saying like vets are getting rich by being getting that comp and pen, and it's like, have you seen what the cost of living is lately? Like, it barely meets.
I've heard that, but I'm like, I'm agreeing with you. I'm like, if you go to Massachusetts, like the Chapter 115 benefit doesn't really go that far, man. I mean, I'm glad it's there. I think it's moving the right direction since we both got out right. But even they'll admit that it's a hard sell. It just doesn't go that far.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know any veteran who says, you know what, I'm rich now because I have VA benefits. And I'll go one step further, Mike. I would gladly give back my VA rating and all the money I received from the government and all that. I'd give it all back right now. If you told me, hey, you know what, we're going to fix your legs and to be like they were before you joined the service, adjusted for age. Really, I wouldn't have to go.
Absolutely.
Really, I mean, you got your issues. I mean, I'd give it. I'd give it. Like, okay, how do you want your money? I'd give it back right now. But that's never going to happen.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
and
it's
I are
like,
never going to be right again the rest of our lives. So how do you really? I mean, it just worries me how the attitude is like we're getting too much.
yeah. And then like a couple of changes that have happened, that have been good is the annuity for 100% veterans and Gold Star family members just increased from 2,000 a year to 2,500.
Yep.
So that did take effect with the February payment. And then also the GI Bill, if you paid in to the Montgomery GI Bill and then were eligible for post 9/11 as well, they will now give you an extra 12 months of GI Bill service. Because they're saying that under how everything was created, you qualify for two different GI Bills, and thus you should be able to use both.
So one of the things I like about the HERO Act and what EOVS has done is I think it's a very big step forward for them to say, hey, we're going to, fund and conduct a study about long-term uh, cannabis, CBD, marijuana use for, you know, pain management. Is it addictive, so on and so forth. I know the VA did a study on it, but it was limited, surprisingly. But this is going to be much different. They're going to use like the hospital system in Massachusetts to help run it. I think it's a very positive thing. I'm not against any veteran using these things to manage pain and have a good quality of life. But there isn't a lot of data on it, Mike. It's kind of like the Wild West.
It is, and like when you go to a cannabis store to buy something, and if you don't know what you're doing, you could be buying something that's far too potent for what you're looking to experience.
Yeah, yeah.
So definitely
So,
get educated before going and making your own prescriptions for yourself.
so I do got to jump because I got a big time show here at 8. So for the next like 3 weeks, I'm doing a special live cast series. Um, this was a part one where I kind of just talk about the need for uh, Black Americans who served their country to be honored, and the need for that. Next week is about the Tuskegee Airmen. Week number 3 is with about General Harriet Tubman. She became a general after the Civil War, and that was a really cool thing. And then the September, not September, February 27th, we close out with Deputy Secretary Andrew Gale Bennett. So pretty exciting stuff, man. And if we can start these at 7:30, we should be fine.
Absolutely, and look forward to checking those out and catching you on YouTube or wherever else you're able to catch Oscar Mike Radio.
Everywhere, anywhere, any climate place we can take a mic, we are there, Mikey.
Absolutely,
Hope
sounds wonderful. And sorry for my absence. But when I've got basically a giant cobweb full of floaties in front of my left eye, it's just really painful to look at a screen.
Well, I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got it worked out, man. I'm glad you got it taken care
Mhm.
of, and then we will take it from there.
Sounds good. I'll see you next week, and I'll see you in the chat in a couple minutes.
We are resilient. We are war.